Hello everyone, this is the Crypto Stock Investor, and in this video I'm going to be talking about Realty Income and my concerns with Realty Income and the future of Realty Income. And so Realty Income has been a really strong, stable company, and I can see a future threat with this company because there's a few things. So short term, their on-hand cash has been depleted over the course of in the past 2 to 3 since 2015, and so they back in 2015 at the end of 2015 they had $40 million worth of cash on hand, and then they are now at around 3 million cash on hand. And so, I mean, it could change by the time that they get out the numbers for the annual report for last year's annual report. And so it'll be interesting to see what their cash is like, the most current data for the cash. That being said, they are still able to grow, which is kind of why their cash has been down, because they've been trying to grow. And they're very selective on how so their strengths, they have a lot of strengths, but their two weaknesses is mortgages and their cash on hand. Their cash on hand has been depleted over the past few years, so that is a concern. I'm not having that much weight to it, but another issue that potentially a future issue with Realty Income is they have a lot of the clients, a lot of their tenants are in the pharmacy market, and so there's some talk about Amazon trying to get into that market and maybe even dominating that market. Is it gonna? I know there's companies out there like Target, for example, tried doing the whole pharmacy gig and they threw in the towel on a couple years ago, and I believe they got it on it was either CVS or Walgreens. I believe it was CVS that they handed over to CVS. So it's like CVS employees or CVS pharmacies or something like that. That they're not actually running the show. It's CVS is running the show. I believe it's CVS. But the pharmacy market has a stronghold within Walgreens and CVS. So Walgreens and CVS has a major has the majority of the pharmacy. Rite Aid, not so much. I can see that they do have some properties that Rite Aid. They do have some tenants that are Rite Aid, but I don't see Rite Aid as being a valuable option for them in the future. Who knows? Those clients might actually be able to transfer to a CVS or Walgreens eventually. But in terms of in terms of the future of pharmacy, in the next 5 to 10 years, I would probably say in the next 5 to 10 years. That is a concern with that, because they have a lot of their tenants is Walgreens and CVS. So that is a concern if Amazon gets into that pharmacy industry. That is my concern, but that's like a future concern that I'm not going to put a minuscule weight to it. I'm more concerned about the cash depletion of their cash on hand. Because I'd like to see a lot of cash on hand, because I want to be able to have the theoretically speaking, I would like to have a company to be able to at least have some cushion just in case something happens. And they're in that unique position that they have, like, since '94, since their IPO in '94, they've been consistently raising dividends over the course of those years, for those 20 plus years now. And so they have a track record, so they're going off of their track record, but I'd like to see those cash to go back up in the next few years. But other than that, it's a strong company. And another aspect I do have to put down is that they have a lot of mortgages. So they have to, in order for them to expand it, they would, and interest rates are really, really low right now, especially now. Um, their liabilities is quite enormous. So their long term debts and their mortgages and their notes payable have been a quote burden on the company. And I'm not going to put too much emphasis on that either because it's kind of an industry standard, and they have shown that they're able to they've been able to uh, be this successful for this long a period of time, and like all like the employees are like knowing that there's like actually people living off of these stocks that they're trying to manage their portfolio, and there's actually people living off of realty income. And does this growth pattern, can they actually continue to grow and grow and grow? Their contracts are set up in that way that their contracts go up year after year, or a certain period within that contract goes up a certain amount of time, and then it goes up, and then goes up, and then goes up. But is it sustainable? And that's kind of my concern within the United States market. There might be a point in time in the next 5 to 10 years that I'm just thinking out loud right now and thinking about this. Is it possible for them to continue this growth in high quality tenants? And are they going to be in a situation that are going to end up being more or less flatline for several years in a row until they find those high quality tenants? Because I would rather have Realty Income to stop doing the increases of their dividends and worry about the cash on hand and bringing that up, and stop trying to raise it up every single time. Because even if it's a small amount, I wouldn't do a reduction, because if they do a reduction, that'll be like the first time ever. But at least have it flatline. I would like to see it flatline. That's just me looking into the company from the outside. So I wouldn't mind having it flatline a little bit for a little while, for like 2 or 3 or 4 years, to get their cash up, and to make sure that they have enough money to pay, at least like pay the bills basically. And they do have a lot of debt as mortgages, so that's a kind of a concern. So that's the video that I have for Realty Income. It's an interesting concept. I don't have money into it, but I will eventually have money into it in the next few weeks. Not few weeks, but the next few months, I should say. That I'm gonna purchase at least one of them or a couple of them. So that's why I've looked into this. This is more of an extremely long-term play in this company. So like in the next 10, I plan to whatever I buy, I plan to hold for a really, really long time. So, and that would kind of give me the cushion of creating income. And so there are better deals out there in regards to dividend income, but in terms of a long-term play, once you buy it, you kind of want to stick around for a while, because they have a tendency, a growth track record of increasing their dividends. So if you had their dividends back in, if you bought a whole bunch in '94, I was 4 years old at that time, but if I had, if it was like 10 to 15 years older, then yeah, I might have been able to have money in that, and then those gains would be like insane compared to the price where it was in '94. But that's just the way the whole system is, and so that's what that's kind of my general analysis. A person looking inside the company, and looking at their balance sheets and their income statements and such, they've been able to successfully, and they actually, another big plus is that they went over the $1 billion tenant income. They made $1 billion in the 2015. Yeah, I think they made, that's the quarterly. They made over $1 billion in 2015, but they made over $1 billion in rental income in 2016. So they've been successfully on a track record of increasing their growth, and they've been able to manage that slow growth mentality. And so the only thing that I would say is that, are they going to find more high quality clients, and are they going to have the potential to keep on this as a track record? So I can see in the next 2 to 5 years that they might actually scale down the either the expansion and just have focus on their cash in the next few years, because that is a concern. But that's just me. So thanks for watching this video, and have a wonderful day.